Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 11, Chapter 48, Poornachandra, Part 1 of 2. A bubble is born on water, from water, and merges in water. Man is born in God and merges in God. This is the lesson India has been teaching her children as well as all men everywhere for centuries. She gave the message of divinity to humanity. Festivals like Dashara are designed to make man aware of his divinity, to endow him with purity, to become aware of his holiness, to imprint on his heart the wisdom won by the sages after years of yearning. The monastic heads, hereditary gurus, the leaders and rulers of the land are not inspiring people to awaken to this truth. Though millions get a glimpse of the ecstasy of union with the divine beauty and divine majesty from the festivals and pilgrimages, the real purpose of the festivals and the benefit one has to derive from the concourse of like-minded people is not understood or explained by anyone. The holy teachings of our land are not being implemented by the so-called custodians of culture, the educationists, the preceptors, and the gurus. Pilgrimages impress on people the lessons of unity. They bring together people from all corners of the world, irrespective of language or locality. The places of pilgrimage are also distributed all over the land. Festivals like Dashara at Prashanti Nilayam bring together sadhakas from all the continents. Irrespective of religion, caste, creed, and color, they are all motivated by the same urge to involve themselves more and more in attempts to realize their innate divinity. They have met here to enjoy the supreme delight in the holy presence of the Lord and to recognize the unity of all in the divine Atmic splendor. Desire knows no justification and has no end. But man is caught in low desires. Desire is the sole cause of sorrow and distress. Sacrifice is the best means of avoiding desire and the consequent grief and disappointment. Several devotees come to me and complain, "Lord, I am suffering from this problem. I am suffering from some headache. I am suffering from stomachache." I give all of them the same reply, "Santosham, I am happy," to everyone. When a bereaved wife tells me that her husband has departed, then also I say Santosham. You may wonder why I give the same reply to all such persons. Santosham is not the common type of joy or happiness, the transient, trivial pleasure you get from worldly success or material gain. San means anything gained through fair means, honorable methods. Tosham is sacred, holy, exaltation, ecstasy. Of all the gifts that you receive from God, the greatest gift is Santosham. The opposite of Santosham is sorrow, which is the fruit of Asha, desire, that arouses hope and almost always results in disappointment or despair. The one Asha engenders another. One desire proliferates into 100 even when it is fulfilled. Asha is like the shadow caused by the morning sun. It gets longer when you run to catch it. It tantalizes you and makes you a fool. It knows no justification and has no end. So, Santosham is the supreme blessing of the Lord, who, in his infinite love, puts an end to that unquenchable thirst. No wealth or other attainment can equal it in efficacy. Santosham is the culmination of desire in full contentment and sacred satiety. The sacred texts of India have abiding vitality. The culture of India has been exhorting people to learn this lesson and practice this discipline. But the glitter of the West, with its scientific advance and technological superiority, have enslaved the brain and hems of Indians, and they pay no heed to the voice of the mother which warns and teaches. They are like the dull-witted inhabitants of the Gangetic basin who dig wells up on the banks of the holy river instead of drawing the sacred water itself for their needs. You should pledge yourself to protect, practice, and promote the ancient, time-tested culture of your country. It's not an accident that you are born in this land. A sacred responsibility is resting on your shoulders. The greatness of India is something unique. So is your good fortune to be living at a time when it is being fast recognized all over the world by anxiety-ridden, fear-torn humans. A word about poets who read poems now. According to tradition, only the rishis who had intuitively cognized the hymns in praise of God and the divine in man were revered as poets or kavis. Of course, rishis or sages were honored as poets, and the appellation rishi was not given to poets. Rishis could be called kavis because kavi meant he who understood the past, realized the present, and educated people for the future. Since the poet has a purified consciousness, he could pronounce impartial judgment on the past. He could lay his finger on the ills and wells of the present, and he could recommend the path for progress in the future. People could place faith in their word and listen to their call. They would not mislead or misinterpret. Genuine poets are aware of the three periods of time. They can roam in their imagination over the three worlds and be ever fixed in consciousness with the three divine entities of the Trinity. The Shastras, Puranas, epics, and other sacred texts of India have abiding vitality and validity, but only because their authors had such unquestioned authority to guide and interpret the age in which they lived and composed their works. The sages of India desired to establish peace on earth. Vyasa and Valmiki underwent a long process of asceticism and study, as well as experiences of spiritual bliss, and thus lifted themselves up to the heights of rishihood before they composed the epics and texts bearing their name. The question may be asked, why should they compose poetry, however exalted, after attaining rishihood? What was the urge that prompted them? The answer is, they were overcome with compassion for the fellow pilgrims struggling along the path they themselves had traversed. They were full of agony at the plight of fellow beings who were sweltering in the heat of worldly entanglements. They desired to establish peace on earth and goodwill among mankind. Their attention was ever on the Vedic message. Themselves having crossed the sea of samsara, change, they help others to do likewise. Themselves risen to the divine, they helped others to rise. End of part 1 of 2, Prashanti Nilayam, October 17th, 1972.